Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame, that's
Yugi peoples, welcome to the discussion video. Alright, so I wanted to take a second to talk about Dark Angel because one of the questions I get asked a lot in my deck profiles is why no Dark Angel? Like I get asked a lot, especially my Houston regional deck profile. There were why no Dark Angel? And I'm pretty sure everybody has their own opinion about how good or how bad Dark Angel is. And, I'm going to give y'all my personal take on Dark Angel. Number one, for me, is the inclusion of main deck nibs. Like, there are so many decks right now that play like 12 hand traps. And, the typical lineup is, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, and then 3 nib. Some people play Droll instead, of maybe the nib sometimes and everything, but like almost everybody is main decking nib. In the regional, I stopped counting after like the second round when I had already been nibbed 4 times already. And the nib is the main reason why I cut the Dark Angel. And you might ask, well, why do you cut Dark Angel? Because of nib. Because one of the things you have to do in order to get the Dark Angel out on the board is you got to have the 3 Destiny Hero monsters inside of your graveyard in order to, discard the Dark Angel and special summon it to your side of the board. And your 3rd Destiny Hero is usually always going to be DPE unless you just dumped your Plasma off in there, which is not something you typically want to do because, you need your Plasma in case you do like the, what is it, like, I don't know, like you just need your Plasma. You need your Plasma sometime. I mean, you can dump it off in there if you can get it into the graveyard. Also, then you don't have to use your DPE effect during the main phase, because that's the main thing. Is like during the main phase, you're going to have to activate your DPE effect, and you're going to be, looking to pop him and to pop, typically your wake up your elemental hero. And if your opponent chains nib to that, then your DPE gets tributed. And yeah, so now you don't have him returning back during the standby phase. I mean, you do still get to pop the nib and the token, because DPE's effect will still, that part of DPE's effect will still resolve. And yeah, you can still special summon Dark Angel to their side of the board. But that brings us to the second problem right there, is SP Little Knight. It's like almost inside of every deck. Like almost every deck has SP Little Knight off in there. They're gonna link it off pretty easily. And then for those who decks like Rescue Ace, decks like Pearly, I think I don't think that Unchained has a link 1 that they can go into typically, unless they started putting one off in there. But I've noticed a lot of decks are running Link Karibo right now. And Link Karibo is, I really hate that card because it is blocking favorite contact too. Like I've got Link Karibo like a couple of times and stuff, and it's like, oh no, my favorite contact is going to get negated by Link Karibo. So yeah, y'all beware of that little thing right there. Yeah, so not only are they just like linking it off, but you lose your DPE effect. Then it gets linked off into a link monster that can be, basically you just handed them a free resource. And then the other thing are cards like Enemy Controller. Like we've seen that Rescue Ace is using cards like Enemy Controller. Like I played against it, not too long ago. And I got, not that he was using my monster because I haven't been playing Dark Angel, but he Enemy Controller me twice and was able to like play through my board. It was crazy because, cards like Enemy Controller and the other one, Enemy Controller, and what's the other card? Oh, Forbidden Droplet. With Kashtira gone now, a lot of people are playing Droplet as well, and you are able to send the Dark Angel even if you do have Dark Law out on the board. So, it's giving them free fodder for cards like Forbidden Droplet, giving them a free negate, it's giving them a free monster if they're running Enemy Controller, because both of those cards send for cost. And it's just like a situation you don't want to get put into. And then there was a those are pretty much like the three main reasons. Is, you know, number one, end up getting nibbed, losing out on your DPE effect, lose out on your wake up, your elemental hero effect, because they chain nib to your DPE effect. Then, like I said, number two, they just plain link it off. Cards like Link Karibo, Relinquished Anima, what's the other one? Relinquished Anima, and then SP Little Knight, you know, just a generic link to. And, you know, so many decks have so many extenders and ways and stuff to get them out onto the board and everything. And then there's like Unchained. Like, I've seen them use, what is the little blue thing to pop it. Like, you know, I've just seen like so many little things happen to poor little Dark Angel. And then, you know, the other one, the third, you know, is like cards like Enemy Controller and Droplet. So, you know, not to say that Dark Angel is necessarily a bad card, but it's just not great in every format. You know, now there are some circumstances where, you know, Dark Angel is definitely a good card, you know, and that will be, you know, when you're playing cards like Rivalry and Gozen. And if you are going to include Dark Angel inside of your deck, you know, I do highly recommend, you know, maining 3 or 4 of those different things. Or, you know, if you're gonna side Dark Angel, then you want to, like, you probably side like 3 Rivalry, and then probably like 3 Spellbound. And then, you know, when you're going into your hand, going into your combo and doing your such and everything, is to what is it? Is to make sure that you have one of those cards before you go into your Dark Angel line. Like, the thing that still sucks about it is, you know, still getting hit with nib. Yeah, you're still going to be able to Dark Angel lock them, but, you know, like, what's the point if you're not going to be able to finish them or, you know, do anything to them? Well, you know, even if you do get nibbed and stuff on those points, if you do happen to have, you know, Rivalry or Gozen, you probably still, you know, pretty much have a chance to win. You know, it's going to depend on like how far you were able to get into your combo and what you were able to do in order to get it out before, you know, you got nibbed, or, you know, what your follow up, because you should most likely have favorite contact down there. So, you know, you should have your Shining Neos Wingman. It's just like, what else? It's just be about what else you can do from there, you know. Make sure that if you do summon it, you know, just have you a backup plan in case you do get nibbed, because it has happened, you know, quite a bit. You know, like I said, like going into the regional, my thing was, you know, I was going to play Vion, normal summoning, chain, mass chain, so I could get Dark Law out there on the board and, you know, not get drolled. But then I ended up getting nibbed, so, you know, I ended up losing out on, you know, my mass change, and I didn't go get another one or to set one, because I was like, oh, well, I already got Dark Law on the board. But then towards the end of my combo, I ended up getting nibbed, so I was like, okay. So it's just like this format, you have to pick and choose, play around nib or play around droll. Droll typically isn't in too many main decks. I feel like if you have to pick one or the other, you're probably going to see more nibs inside of a main deck than you do see more drolls. But then it also depends on your locals and such. You know your meta better than any of us do, you know, so that's a decision that you have to make. But yep, those are pretty much the 3 main reasons why I have stopped playing Dark Angel, why I haven't even been including it inside of my side deck. I think, like, you know, Rivalry and Gozen are good cards. They really are. But, like, I think, like, the main thing is, like, when I go into my tournaments and stuff, the main deck I expect to face is, you know, Pearly, and I really don't think they care about Rivalry. Like, and then I think, like, even still, like, pretty much like the main deck that I constantly think about is Rescue Ace. And pretty much the only time when you can really, like, you know, use Rivalry or Gozen to stop that deck is like if they put the Diabell Star out there on the board. And yeah, then you can stop them from, you know, building like a crazy board and doing crazy stuff with it and everything. But, you know, I've just never I don't know, I just never really been a big fan of, you know, the trap card floodgates, because, you know, like, one of the things is you just got to draw it, man. And I'm not one of those people who's like lucky enough to ever really get there. You know, sometimes it happens, but most of the time it doesn't, you know, and that's just how it is. You know, it's like one of the other reasons why I don't like playing main decking nib in Heroes. You know, I see a lot of people main deck nib and stuff off in there. But you know, me, the way my luck works is like if I nib my opponent, I'm definitely gonna have one or two of hero lives inside of my hand and not be able to activate them. You know, that's just, you know, everybody has their own, you know, measure of luck. You know how your luck works. Like my luck does not work with those cards at all. So yeah, that is my little 2 cents on Dark Angel. You know, y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it's a good card this format? Are you still running it? Are you having a lot of success with it? You know, personally, you know, I've been having, you know, quite a little bit of success. You know, I won our what is it, the 25th anniversary Eldritch playmat tournament. I ended up winning that. I won the charity event. You know, I got my invite at the Houston regional and such. You know, pretty good record. I started off 5-0. You know, really really good. And you know, I ended up losing to Rescue Ace, and then I lost due to, you know, what is that, deck written errors and stuff like that, you know. And then I lost to, what was it, Droll and Lockbird scam. You can't, like, that's, you know, that's the main thing about heroes is, you know, you're gonna Joel and Lockbird is a menace to our deck, bro. It really really sucks sometimes. But yeah, you know, I've been having pretty good success without without playing Dark Angel in the side our main. You know, it's, when it comes to heroes, it's always a matter of preference. You know, one of the things y'all see on my channel is that I run a lot of different decks. You know, you'll see me playing, you know, like I've tried Evil Hero, you know, Pure Destiny Hero, and all these things and such. And, you know, these decks are pretty decent, but when it comes right down to it, Omni Hero is, you know, without a doubt inside of my mind, like the best way to just play heroes. Like, it just really is. The deck is amazing. It feels amazing, like when I get to play it, how it flows. Like, I have so much confidence inside of that deck because, you know, even when you get like drolled and stuff sometimes, you know, like, you know, you can make sure that your first ad is your poly. That way, you know, you can still use your poly twice. You can play around Nib by waiting to the end phase to use DPE effect to pop himself and to pop that wake up your elemental. Then if they do hit you with the Nib, then you go ahead and bring out that the plasma on them so that you can absorb that Nib, have a 3400 attack plasma out there, still have your DPE and such. So, you know, like Omni Hero is just really really strong in my opinion. You know, it's definitely the best way to play it. The thing about the other hero decks and stuff that I run is like they cause you to have to run like so many more bricks inside of the deck that don't necessarily work with heroes. Like, I really want to play Cosmos Neos. Like, I really want to take that to the regional. I love Cosmos Neos, you know. I really want to play it, but the thing is, you know, you got to put those 2 to 3 Neo Spations inside of the deck, and when you draw them, they just don't really do enough. They don't help you win the game. And I think like one of the best cards out of Fusion Destiny inside of the entire hero deck is Vision Hero Ferris. So it's like, you know, there are so many games where, you know, you draw Ferris and another hero monster and you're like, okay, I'm good, I got a hero lives, I got Ferris, you know, this and that such. Then, you know, I'm able to do a couple of things. But, you know, when you play the Cosmos Neos deck, you know, if you're playing it like the way I prefer to play it, like I prefer to play it with the Vision Heroes and all that stuff off inside of there, because I feel like, you know, it's stronger when you're sideboarding, like going second. You know, you can side out a lot of that, a lot of the Neo Space stuff, and you can have your, you know, typical, like what looks like almost like a regular Omni Hero deck going second, you know, which is like pretty powerful. And, you know, there are other ways to run, you know, the Cosmos Neos deck, which I'm going to actually like look into. But the other ways when you run it, it just feels like if you don't draw something like In Shuffle or Engage Neo Space or what's the other card, Crosskeeper, then it feels like the deck just doesn't do enough. It's like you have to get to one of those power spells in order to be able to do something with the deck. Well, I say power spells, but one of them is the monster. And, you know, even though Crosskeeper is, you know, a little bit more searchable than the other two, it's like if you don't have one of those cards, it just kind of feels like you're just losing the game because your monsters alone don't really do a lot. Like, you know, the monsters you typically include often are what, like Stratos, Blaze Man, and which you can, if you can, well, even to like if you just normal summon Blaze Man, you're gonna have to have like the Liquid Soldier or something inside of your hand. But typically you need in shuffle because you need to get your what is his name? Spirit of Neos. You need to get him to hit the board some kind of way. So you need in shuffle, you need engage Neo space, you need Neos Fusion, or you need like Crosskeeper. Like Neos Fusion is not all the case special summon after you do that stuff, and then like I said, so it's like Crosskeeper, engage Neo space, in shuffle, and engage Neo space is like a really really good card. But there's not, like, if there was a better way to search it, like if we could search it without having to special summon Spirit of Neos out there on the board, then it would be a whole lot better. But that's my take on those things and such. Mostly, like I said, Dark Angel. If you're gonna play it, watch out for Nib, and then also don't go into the Dark Angel line unless you have Goes in Match or Rivalry or Spellbound. So appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I will catch y'all on the next video.
And for me, my wingman, he come through, he level up, he Goku, he's shining out and popping to over 9K. That's a breakthrough. We on top now. Here's a look at our world.